Good Thursday evening and welcome to the Ncwlife Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window and kind of the same old song and dance that we've seen for the last several days. This is our Sky-Fi camera from Orondo looking back at Turtle Rock. And you can actually see Turtle Rock today. I think we used this exact same shot 2 days ago on Tuesday, and you couldn't see Turtle Rock. We have been over 300, between 301 and 500 on the air index chart, of course, is hazardous. Today we are at 240, so a big improvement. Well, if you can call it a big improvement, we're still in the unhealthy to very unhealthy category, but it is better than what we've seen the past few days. We have wind in our forecast, and that will be a factor for us tonight and once again on Friday night. We could see wind gusts here in Wenatchee between 24 and 28 miles an hour, even stronger down in the Ellensburg area. That isn't good news for our area firefighters, but what is, I guess, kind of a catch-22 out of all this, it should scour some of this heavy smoke out of our area. We're still going to remain on the hazy side, but things should improve on Friday and again into Saturday before more smoke moves in on us next week. We'll have your complete weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A GoFundMe account has been set up to raise money for a firefighter who was injured battling the Grass Valley fire last weekend. Structures were damaged, but no homes lost in a 3-alarm fire yesterday in the Soap Lake area. And a fiery traffic accident last night in the Leavenworth area left the driver with only minor injuries. But first, we begin tonight. Good news to report this afternoon on the Cougar Creek fire. Crews have established a 35% containment on the blaze and appear to have greatly reduced the threat to homes in the Entiat area. Managers report successful burnout operations along holding lines on the southern portion of the fire line. Containment lines around structures in the Entiat River Valley were established and strengthened. Fire Information Officer Shannon Prather said in his Wednesday morning briefing that the southern flank of the blaze is now fully surrounded.
Let me give you our priorities for the day for operations. Today, we did have a little spot down here by DP 71 that came out yesterday. Crews got around that and worked all night long, and that's under control now. They're going to continue to mop that up 100% today. We expect more fire behavior. This fire is continuing to come down and come and meet our containment lines. So today we're going to stay ahead of this and continue to get some depth, work this line, mop up the edges, and then stay ahead of this fire as it continues to drop down and come against bump our containment lines. This road I talked about today is going to be a priority to get in on the 717 road below Burgess Cabin. We're prepped and ready for defense around the cabin. They've got sprinklers set up. They got a huge water tank, and fuels have been removed around the cabin. So defense on that's going to be a priority today too. But we don't feel like there's any issues to defend that at all. We have people in place on that. So coming around below Burgess Cabin is a priority to get that done. We plan on having some more PSD operations, which is aerial ignitions. That's going to continue to get some depth in here and help bring that down gently down to our lines today. Coming up around Delta, they're still continuing to work on the 6104 road. Did have a little bit more activity up here by H5. We're monitoring that, and we're going to continue to support that with Type 1 bucket ships and drop on that today. This is a second priority for us to keep that at bay as it continues to drop down in towards the Mad River and into towards Jimmy Creek.
The fire has burned over 31,000 acres, but there are no reports of any structure damage. They are expecting the fire behavior to ramp up later this afternoon and early tonight as a cold front enters the area, bringing breezy conditions to that fire area. The management of the fire transitions today from a Type 5 to a Type 3 team. A GoFundMe account has been set up to raise money for a firefighter who was injured battling the Grass Valley fire over the weekend. Brett Reed is an Okanagan County Fire District number 8 firefighter. He and another firefighter were trying to leave their work area on Saturday when the fire unexpectedly intensified. Reed became separated from the engine he was working on and suffered burns during that incident. The other firefighter was not injured. Reed was taken to Cooley Medical Center and later airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, where he's recovering. Reed has been a volunteer firefighter for 7 years and lives in the Omak area with his wife and 3 children. Well, structures damaged but no homes lost in this 3-alarm fire yesterday in the Soap Lake area. Officials say it started about 4:30 p.m. Grant County Fire District 13 responded to assist Grant County Fire District 7 with that fast-moving fire threatening structures off Road B.5 Northeast. Several homes were saved, but unfortunately several structures were damaged, including a barn. Grant County Fire District Number 7 Chief Kirk Shepard gave a rough estimate of 65 acres charred in the wildfire. He said at least one person is being questioned as a suspect in connection with the fire, and the Grant County Fire Marshal is investigating. Well, this was the scene of a fiery traffic accident last night in the Leavenworth area. Washington State Patrol Trooper Jeff Anderson says the single vehicle crash happened on U.S. Highway 2 at the west end of town.
It actually left the paved shoulder, struck a rock that's kind of shaped a little bit like a ramp, which launched the vehicle into the air and flipped it. Vehicle came to rest on its top, and that's when it ignited.
Trooper Anderson says the driver received only minor injuries. He says the cause of the crash is still under investigation. Coming up next, Highway 2 in the Monitor Flat area west of Wenatchee was briefly shut down this morning while state troopers arrested a suspect in a stolen pickup. At today's weekly Wenatchee Rotary Club luncheon, the featured speaker, Todd Fryhofer, president of the Washington State Apple Commission, talked about the apple harvest and about recent tariffs. And in our weekly Kennel Cameos feature, tonight we introduce you to Vera the dog. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the Ncwlife Evening News.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles. Specialty cars, lifted or lowered, Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Welcome back. In another news, Highway 2 in the Monitor Flat west of Wenatchee was briefly shut down this morning while state troopers arrested a suspect in a stolen pickup. Trooper Jeff Anderson has the details.
The initial report was a stolen Chevy pickup truck traveling westbound across the Old Station Bridge with the reporting party following behind in an SUV. I was right there at the office preparing to head out to the Grant County Fair for the day. When I heard the call come out, so I jumped back in my patrol car and was able to locate the vehicle there in the left turn lane to go into Monitor. And myself and another trooper conducted a high-risk vehicle stop in the intersection, had the intersection shut down, took the driver and passenger into custody for being in possession of the stolen vehicle.
Trooper Anderson did not disclose the name of the suspect. Well, at today's weekly Wenatchee Rotary Club luncheon, the featured speaker, Todd Fryhofer, president of the Washington State Apple Commission, talked about the apple harvest and about recent tariffs. Freihofer says the recent trade war will affect a large portion of the apple industry, especially as it relates to Mexico.
So as most people know, we've got a lot of issues going on in the trade market right now. Apples are subject to 2 different tariffs and affect approximately 62% of our Red Delicious and 50% of all of our galas going internationally. I'm trying to be optimistic, and the optimistic side of me says that perhaps NAFTA will be concluded, and if NAFTA gets concluded, then maybe the 20% Mexico tariff will go away. Mexico's our #1 export market. They took 15 million bushels last season, so it's very impactful. The China discussion, I think, is a little bit more long-term, and it's going to take more time to right itself.
In late July, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced a $12 billion plan to assist farmers who have been hurt by trade disputes with China and other trading partners. Well, time now for our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Today, NCWLife's Megan McPherson introduces us to Vera the dog.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCWLife channel. We are here with Don Davies, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining with us today is Vera. Can you tell us about Vera?
Sure. So Vera is 5 years old and female, of course. She's spayed. She was actually one of the dogs that we transferred up from Texas. And Texas has, unfortunately, kind of a high kill state down there. So there's a lot of dog rescues that we work with, and we help to rescue those animals and bring them up here. And so she came up all the way from Texas, and she's such a good girl. We put her out in a adoption event, and unfortunately she got attacked by another dog. Didn't you? Yes. So she had to go to emergency care, and then she's been in foster care for a little while, but she is all healthy, good to go, and she is just done being in the shelter. She just wants a nice home that she can call her own.
How is she with kids and other animals?
She's okay, but I really think that she would be better just in a quiet environment. She needs a little bit of exercise, but I think for the most, well, I know she loves to sunbathe. She's always laying around out in the sun. So I think she'd be good with adults. Takes a little bit longer to warm up to men, but I think that's just because of their voices. It just takes a little while to get used to, but yeah, so I think a quiet house would be best for her.
All right. And if someone wants to adopt Vera, what should they do?
Should come see us at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue. You can also give us a call at 662-9577. And she's also on our website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Vera. The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
You're watching the NCWLife Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCWLife Evening News. Stay with us.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLife channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. Joel Norman, voice of the Wenatchee Apple Sox, stopped by yesterday to talk about the summer that was for Wenatchee's summer collegiate team. He also addressed the frustration and confusion over the playoff chase and the Wenatchee's in, now they're out scenario.
Every single day for a week, it was me and the coaching staff discussing what are our playoff clinching scenarios. And I think we thought we had it figured out, but then the league posted an article on their website, I think on the Friday of it would have been Monday of the final series of the season. And they said, there could be a four-way tie for second, and if so, the Apple Sox would win that. However, apparently they edited that article later in the same day because they confused their own playoff rules. And then they said, oh, actually, we made a mistake. But they never publicly said anything. Mm-hmm. So we approached that series against Kelowna a different way. I think that was some of the frustration with the coaching staff. They said, well, if we had known this was the case, because no one noticed that edit to the article. So that's an easy thing that just flies under the radar, right? So that was something that kind of frustrated us. And the next day we see an article saying, nothing about the Apple Sox can make the playoffs. And we said, wait a second, we won a game, we lost one game, but now we're out. You said before, a few days ago, we just needed 2 of 3.
Meanwhile, the West Coast League Championship Series continues. Game 2 of the best of 3 tonight in Corvallis, featuring the Knights and Kelowna Falcons. Corvallis leads the series and could wrap up the title with a win tonight. We'll have more on that interview with Joel Norman coming up next week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, believe it or not, hockey season is almost here. Arch Ecker was checking in on Facebook yesterday, watching practice at the Town Toyota Center.
Well, the ice is in here at Town Toyota Center, and that can only mean one thing. It's getting to be close to time for hockey season. The Wenatchee Wild main camp won't open up until next Monday, but for the time being, one of our 3 development teams are currently making the most of having ice, as the Wenatchee Wilderness are involved in practice right now. We've also got the Wenatchee Wolves U18s, we've got the Wenatchee Wolverines, our 3 development teams, and some players are finding that to be a great stepladder to work their way through their junior hockey career. With the sound of pucks banging off the walls and skates carving up the ice, it's a great thing.
It is a great thing. Arch, once the Wild get on the ice on Monday, they'll have just a few days to prepare for their first exhibition games next weekend in the community rink against the Trail Smoke Eaters. Tickets for $10 general admission. You can learn more at WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Well, D. Gordon's 2-run home run in the top of the 12th inning helped the Mariners salvage the final of a 3-game series at Oakland yesterday. 2-0 the final. The game was a pitcher's duel throughout, with Mike Leake going 8 innings for Seattle, allowing no runs, just 2 hits while striking out 6. Oakland starter Brett Anderson was just as stingy, going 7 2/3 of shutout ball on 5 hits. Bullpens took over with 9 men towing the rubber between the 2 teams. Finally, the 12th, Yosmero Petit on the mound for the A's gave up a walk to Mike Zunino. Then, with 1 out, Gordon followed with his 2nd home run of the season to right. The Mariners returned home to make that return home, trailing Oakland by 2.5 games of the wild card race, and they'll host the Dodgers in the first of 3 games tomorrow night at Safeco Field. To the Les Schwab scoreboard we go for the rest of the American League West. Tyler White hit 2 home runs, and Evan Gattis delivered a couple of more solo shots. Houston clobbered Colorado 12-1. The Astros lead in the West is back to 3 games over Oakland, 4.5 over Seattle. Rene Rivera's solo home run at the top of the 9th lifted the Angels over the Padres in San Diego by a final of 3-2. Well, the Seahawks continue preparations for Saturday's 2nd preseason game against the Chargers. Coach Pete Carroll says he likes the competition he's seeing at all levels during practice.
Still in camp mode, of course, but this was a comp Wednesday for us, competition Wednesday, and the guys really battled today, so it was a really fun practice. I don't know if you guys could tell or not, but that's the kind of work we like seeing out here. Kind of right at that pitch of, almost over the top, but they hung in there really nice. Did a nice job of staying poised and really practicing hard today, so good day's work.
Now, rookie running back Rashad Penny injured his hand in practice this week and will be out for a while, but Carroll says the prognosis is pretty good.
Pass rush drill and he's caught his finger, and he had surgery that worked out beautifully. It's a couple weeks. He can already move it, and he's not going to be in a cast or any of that kind of stuff. So he's in pretty good shape. So we got a great report on it. He's not going to be out very long at all.
Seattle and the LA Chargers Saturday night kickoff set for 7 o'clock. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCW Life channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Because of our poor air quality the past several days, we've been talking a lot about the Air Quality Index. In tonight's feature story, a pulmonary critical care specialist explains what all the numbers and colors on the air quality chart actually mean to you.
The Air Quality Index, known as the AQI, is a measure of how clean or polluted the air is. It ranges between 0 to 500 and is broken down into 6 different categories. They're usually color coordinated. Data such as this is available on many national and federal websites, including AirNow, and you can also be accessible through our local state environmental department website. It's important to realize that numbers above 100 indicate poor air quality and numbers under 100 indicate relatively good air quality. Numbers above 100 among the sensitive population, which include patients with breathing problems, heart problems, young children, and elderly, should make plans to protect themselves against air pollution. Numbers above 300 indicate hazard levels of air quality. And at those levels, everyone needs to be taking caution, regardless of whether you have a significant medical history. You really want to be protecting yourself by making plans to leave the area or limiting outdoor activities. And in addition to that, wearing some sort of a protective barrier, such as a surgical mask, a simple dust mask, or even better, an N95 mask. While an N95 mask does protect you to some degree, it is important to acknowledge that we need the mask to be form-fitted. Please bear in mind that if you begin to experience any respiratory symptoms, be it coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath, you should proceed to your local physician or a lung specialist for further evaluation. If your respiratory symptoms appear to be progressing at a rapid pace, please do not hesitate to proceed to your local emergency department or urgent care department.
And once again, the air quality here in the Wenatchee area a little bit earlier this afternoon was at 240, which is still very unhealthy, but an improvement from the 301 to 500 category, the hazardous that we've been seeing since Sunday. We'll be back with a recap of our top stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Oh, hey, Nate. What you doing there?
I'm just reading a book.
A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Yield Bookshop.
Yield Bookshop? I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Yield Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X4 offers 4 times the proven off-road capability, 4 times the comfort, and 4 times the confidence to deliver 4 times the excitement on your next outdoor adventure.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Structures damaged, but no homes lost in this 3-alarm fire yesterday in the Soap Lake area. Officials say it started about 4:30 p.m. Grant County Fire District 13 responded to assist Grant County Fire District 7 with a fast-moving fire threatening structures off row B.5 northeast. Several homes were saved, but unfortunately several structures were damaged, including a barn. Grant County Fire District Number 7 Chief Kirk Shepard gave a rough estimate of 65 acres charred in that wildfire. He said at least one person is being questioned as a suspect in connection with the fire, and the Grant County Fire Marshal is investigating. Time now to take a check of your north central Washington weather forecast. Before we get to those details, let's take another look outside our weather window, where once again, very hazy and smoky. But I did just mention our air quality. Is it really better when it goes from hazardous to very unhealthy? And that's what we are right now, about the 230 to 250 range in the Wenatchee area. This from our Orondo Sky-Fi camera looking back at Turtle Rock, and it's still awfully hazy and smoky out there. So if you are sensitive to haze and smoke, and boy, if this kind of smoke we all are, stay inside. If you have to be outside, find a suitable mask to wear in all this smoke and haze. Let's take a look now at what we can expect over the next 5 days in our surface loop. And we are going to look at our wind map today because it will tell us a lot about what's going on out there. Tomorrow we'll see high pressure off the coast of Washington and Oregon. A weak area of low pressure will move through tonight, and that'll kick our winds up to possibly 28 miles an hour. We'll see a wind on Friday. Friday night, some more wind, possibly up to 30 miles an hour. That should scour out some smoke. So Saturday and into the weekend, things should be a little bit better. We're not going to be haze free, but it is, I think, going to be better visibility all over the Wenatchee Valley. By the time we end the weekend on Sunday, a light wind, but then on Monday, the high pressure off the coast will intensify and our wind direction will switch more to the north, which could bring us even more smoke as we move into the early next week than we had earlier this week. And I know that's not news that any of us want to hear. And there you see that strong northwest and northerly flow coming down into Wenatchee, and that will bring us more smoke, not only from the Cougar Creek fire, but also from all the fires burning up in British Columbia. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight will drop down to 69 degrees, a very mild overnight low. Tomorrow, hot with wind. As we mentioned, 10 to 20 miles an hour out of the west and northwest. Should scour out some of that smoke on Friday. 92 our high temperature. The weekend really looks nice. We'll see highs in the low 90s. Still some haze out there, but nothing like we've experienced the past 2 or 3 days. As I mentioned, highs in the lower 90s. Pretty much the same for next week and into the middle part of next week too, except heavy smoke. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we'll see if our high temperatures reach the 90-degree mark with all of that smoke. So by all means, enjoy Friday and this coming weekend as far as breathing goes outside, because our situation should improve. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Localtel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV Set Free. Enjoy the extra value Localtel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up today.
Lake Chelan Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service, online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards, and of course, mailboxes. Chelan Mailboxes, everything you need in one small package.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
Hi, I'm Darcy Christofferson, Administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, and you are watching the NCW Life channel.